Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have day 2 of 6 days of testimony in an epic-length evidentiary hearing that takes place when Mom files a motion for reconsideration after the court decides to change custody based on an FOC report that recommends a dad have custody during the week because evidence from the school shows that their daughter has had so many unexcused absences from school that she's been found truant in the past, and the vast majority of the lates and tardies she's had have been during Mom's custody time. Dad's lawyer says he's also worried about the people that Mom allows around their daughter and the state of the home that they live in. There's also been some questionable behavior by Mom that makes Dad and others wonder if she's struggling with substance abuse. Mom is a mess who breaks down crying at the start over not having her lawyer show up. The legal aid lawyer that she claims should be helping her out is a no-show for the hearing and hasn't entered an appearance. She claims she doesn't know what to do, but the referee tells her she's had months and months to prepare for this hearing, so she'll just have to do it herself. Will Mom get it together and make it through this hearing, or will her testimony and evidence be as messy and chaotic as she seems to be in the beginning? Let's find out. Don't miss day 1 of this case, which includes their opening statements and testimony from the first 3 witnesses. I'll link all the videos in this case for you down below.
Yeah, I'll call Tyler.
Okay. All right, then.
Here, she has to leave at 4, so I'll probably call her first.
Okay, we'll get to her next then. Ms. Wright, then here's what I would ask you to do. You remember what you were asked. You have the right to basically cross-examine yourself, and it would be silly to ask yourself questions. So you may testify in what's called the narrative. Just tell us your version of events, and then we will reserve your right to call yourself as a witness in your case. Okay, this is right now. This is Mr. Coleman's case. So right. Once he rests his case, then you get to bring your case, and you can reserve the right to testify on your own behalf in that case. And then Mr. Chadwick can cross-examine you. So, all right, tell me what you want to say about it. All right, did you have a question, Mr. Chadwick?
Yes. Can you confirm for me what exhibits were admitted last time?
Yes, I've got the school exhibit number 1 was the school absences.
All right.
And exhibit number 2 was the iChat.
For which defendant or which person?
Let me find them. I was just looking at my notes. So it's the iChat for Matthew Preston.
Okay.
And those are the only 2 exhibits that have been entered at this time.
Did we admit the friend of the court recommendation, investigation summary?
I don't think you did. I know we talked about it, but I don't think you officially entered it. I do have a copy of it here. Pursuant to court rule, is anybody calling the front of the court?
No.
Okay. Then all I'll be able to do is just review it pursuant to the court rule.
Can I ask that we admit it into the record?
Ms. Wright, any questions on that?
I guess if admitting it into the record, does that mean that I can speak on?
Yeah, you can definitely speak. You can speak upon it as well.
Okay.
Because I will be reviewing it, but I'm going to give it the appropriate weight because the front of the court worker is not here to testify and be cross-examined as to the underlying circumstances of their writing it. So pursuant to the rules of evidence, MRE 10110 or something. Yeah, there's a lot of 1s and 0s in that one.
Yeah.
I can never, but there is a court rule that says the court may review these documents, but I have to then only give it a certain weight. I can't give it a lot of credibility because it wasn't cross-examined upon. But you may speak of it, and
okay,
because you've reviewed it as well, so you may testify. Yeah. But that will be on your testimony, not on your cross, because he didn't bring it up during your examination.
All right, 3.
Yeah. That would be number 3.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ms. Wright, what's your side of the story?
If I'm speaking of just the questions that
Correct.
I was asked, I know, like, I was asked about my home being in foreclosure, and maybe it's not known how the process works, but when you're waiting on disability and you have, I bought into the insurance when I bought my house for instances like this where they take from the pot of money that I've been paying into and paid into to help with that, with the situation, so that I don't get to a point where I would lose my home. And so that happened. It's happened twice now because I'm still waiting on disability. But luckily I've been able to, I had that backup plan to take care of it so that I don't have to worry about making the payments when I am still waiting on the disability payments to start. Trying to think of what else we talked about. The house and utilities. Same thing with utilities. I mean, the times that, the couple times that we had been shut off, there was one where it was a longer stretch, like I don't know, I was fighting the consumers for a while because they added a $5,000 bill from a previous address that I had lived at from a time that I didn't live there, added it to my account, and then I had to fight that back and forth for a while. But I have the documents showing that it was their error. They eventually wiped it off, and I think they said that I had stayed in a hotel for a month, which never happened. I have all the receipts from the hotels that show I stayed there for 2 nights at one place. And then I know actually the truancy officer had got us a room at another, I think it was the America's Best for one night at some point. I guess I don't, I'm trying to recall what exactly.
I know that's a problem. That's why I always rewatch all of the hearings before I make a decision.
Yeah.
So I have it all as one batch.
But we've always, I bought the house on my own and still have it, and our utilities are all on. Any little bumps in the road, I've been able to use community services that, have that purpose, are there for that purpose to help when needed. As far as, I don't want to speak about something that we haven't.
No, if you go off a little bit, we'll give you some leeway.
Okay.
Because of the length of time. There was a lot that was gone over, and it was gone over quickly.
As far as like schooling and stuff goes, I know, Vanna was tardy a couple times. She walks to school. It takes her a while to get up and down the stairs, even though, yes, now that's her biggest fear for 6th grade is walking up and down the stairs at school, and she would walk up and down the stairs to get to her class. So I know that was brought up before, but also her absences. I know on my end, she has a half day. I don't just let her stay home, or, we don't have like personal days off or anything like that. It's just, a matter of being like lollygagging with her friends on her way to school the few times that she's been tardy, or, I guess I don't have much more else to say. I know she's happy with having both of us. There was a stretch of time that, with the history between Tyler and I and my current fiance, that we didn't get along great. And there was a stretch, a couple months when everyone was getting along and Vanna was thriving. She's smiling, and, Tyler would stop over here to say hi. I'd stop at the office to say hi to Vanna, and there was no issue. And it was like a good example of how co-parenting should be in my eyes. And it's frustrating to have court and then all of a sudden it's back to the opposite. I don't want to speak too much. I think that's pretty much all that was touched on.
Okay. Mr. Chadwick, any other questions?
Wasn't there a time when the St. Peter and Paul Church or school put you up in a hotel for a while?
It was for one night, and that's what I just spoke about. That it was actually, I worked with the truancy officer who spoke last time, and that was because I reached out to him and said that we were, it was like one of the times when during that consumer's ordeal, when they had no choice but to shut us off, and they paid for a night at America's Best.
The St. Peter and Paul Church paid for a night?
They worked with the school, and so I don't know which one funded, if the funding came from the school through I'm sorry, I don't remember the truancy officer's name, but if the funding came straight from him and like the school fund, or if it came from St. Peter and Paul's fund. But they had worked together to make that happen.
You heard the testimony from the truancy officer on June 14th, is that right?
Yeah.
There were a lot of tardies as well as absences. So first of all, the tardies, if you know that Savannah has trouble walking upstairs, I understand your house is somewhat at the bottom of a hill and Jefferson Elementary is at the top of a hill. It's only a few blocks, but it's almost straight up.
Right.
Why wouldn't you be able to get her up earlier in the morning so she's not tardy?
We do get her up earlier in the morning, as well as driving her. I mean, it's not a matter of, just that, but I don't know if you're assuming that all those tardies are on my time, or more importantly, I guess, are the absences where she's missing full days for no reason. I don't know, even talking to Tyler, we both know how Vanna is in the morning and she can be a bear, but if you look at the actual missed days of school compared to tardies, and which parent had her on those days, I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Miss Ma'am, as far as the absences, there were 4 on his time, 23 on yours. And as to the tardies, there were 14 on his time and 67 on yours.
And I don't think
So
that
that was broken down to, that's what was testified to.
and I don't think that is an accurate view.
Well, then you might want to relook at that, and you might want to sit down and figure out how to give some testimony on that, because that's what's admitted at this time. That's what the court is looking at.
Okay, that's what I actually am working on, because when they show absences, they show AM and PM and it counts as 2 instead of it being like for the whole day. So I actually have a call in with the assistant superintendent trying to figure this out, because there are days where it'll mark it as double, or days that I know she was there, or if she showed up after she had a.
That's not what this record indicates. This record has afternoon and evening and morning in the same day. There are 67 lines. I'm sorry, there are 81 lines as to the absences, and there are approximately 27 lines as to the tardy, so it's not duplicative.
That's not duplicative. Okay, I guess I'll keep reaching out to the superintendent to figure this out then, because even
each line goes day by day.
They knew with more recently, I got a printout on the very last day of school that had the last, I don't know, 6 weeks on that printout, where Tyler had her home on half days, full days, where they mark it excused, but the excuse is just the fact that the parent has called. There's no real excuse. Like the day before he went on vacation, he went to Las Vegas and kept her home for the full day so that he could spend it with her before his trip. And then a half day that he kept her home the whole day just because it was a half day. So I guess I don't know if the absences, if they're marking the ones that I have. This is why I'm talking with the superintendent, because when we get the call and it says Savannah's been marked unexcused, or Savannah's not here for the day, even though I've already walked her in and given her a note, if that's what's coming up on these papers, or if it's actually real absence where she actually hasn't been there for the full day.
Okay. The only question, Mr. Chadwick, are you done?
No, I'm not done. I have
okay.
a question about the tardies, 67 tardies. And you mentioned that she does have trouble with stairs. My question was, could she just get up earlier? Your response was that she's a bear to wake up in the morning.
That wasn't my response. If you listened, I said we do get her up early. We've tried that, and we even drive her to school.
Okay.
But in addition to that, she is a bear to get up in the morning. But the 67 absences, if you match them up to the actual parenting time days, I'm sorry, the tardies and absences all together, it should be pretty indicative of the issue.
The day before the Vegas trip, Tyler kept her from school. Isn't it true that he contacted you and asked if you would agree to that for having the day off?
He did contact me, but that's what I'm saying is he did contact me to say he was going to do that. But with half days,
yes or no. Was it true that he did
half days? We spoke about it, but not about the half days that she just doesn't go to, and then comes home and says, Daddy told me not to tell you that I got to stay home.
All right. I'm just asking about the day before the Vegas trip. It's a very small point. I think you would admit that he did contact you before that, and you both agreed that she would stay home with him from school that day.
We did talk about it.
Okay.
Whether I thought it was a good idea or not, that's a different story.
Talked about how there was a period of time when you and your boyfriend, Mr. Preston, were getting along with Tyler.
Mm-hmm. And Tyler was getting along with us. Tyler was no longer. I mean, we all looked at each other like, what is going on? Even Vanna said, Daddy wants to know why you're being nice, even though you're always nice. And, we were all getting along just fine.
All right. Could you wait for my question, please?
What was the question in that then?
And I would also ask that we strike the balance of that response.
Okay.
Fine.
And what's your question?
Question is, isn't Tyler right to be concerned if you're having the power shut off and you have to stay in a hotel with Savannah? Is that something he should be concerned about?
I don't think so, not at all, because just like we spoke about the Vegas trip, Tyler knows every single thing like this. I mean, even on Easter, the Easter that we did have the power shut off, me and Tyler talked about it, and we asked Vanna what she wanted to do because of the Easter bunny coming. And would it be better? I said it would probably be better for her to have Easter morning with Tyler at that point because I didn't want to do it at a hotel. Vanna said she'd rather be with me. So then Tyler brought an Easter bunny up. I mean, it was up to the hotel that we were staying at. But at no point do I think he needs to be concerned, or, I mean, he knows, I mean, we lived together for years before Vanna was born. And, we've had some of the situations like this in the past. So, the circumstances haven't changed at all, as far as what I would think his concern would be of, how much weight that would even have on him being concerned about anything.
Okay. I understand this is not a jury trial. I would just ask that the court strike the hearsay statement.
I will give it the weight necessary at this point. One of the things that we do, you're right, this isn't a jury trial. I know what hearsay is, and I know what hearsay is, and I know what to take into account and weigh appropriately what shouldn't or should be.
All right, I have no further questions.
And I'll note that, by the way. The only question that I would have is, does your daughter walk to school because you're too close for the buses to pick her up?
She does at times, but we also drive. I mean, like,
that wasn't the question. So she does live too close for the buses to pick her up.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And since that's now irrelevant, I'm going to ask this further question to see if you know or not. When Cole has the child, I'm sorry.
Tyler Coleman.
Tyler Coleman. Yeah, that's why I'm looking for the file covered of names. I'm like, but I've got it covered with all of your proposed exhibits and stuff.
Right, from my last
yeah, okay. Does Mr. Coleman, when she's with Mr. Coleman, does she get to take the bus because he lives far enough away?
No, he's in a different school district.
Okay, so then Mr. Coleman, I guess I'd ask you the question. I realize you're not under oath. How do you get the child to school?
I drive her to school.
So you drive her every day?
Yes, sir.
So neither one of you have access to a bus service?
Correct.
I mean, I believe I do where I'm at. I just have never looked into it because
okay, no problem.
I have no issue
just asking.
School.
Yeah, I just always thought it was interesting that if you live within a certain amount of the school, that they will not let buses go, and you're like,
yeah.
And you expect a first grader to walk that?
And I'm actually looking into it now because I know we live pretty close to the mile marker for middle school, and that's what the cutoff is if you're within a mile. Then.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to know and to confirm why she walks. So
yeah.
that was
in addition to her doctor saying, we got to get in 2 to 3 walks a week for her health and her weight.
So this is okay.
In the springtime, when it's nice out, then we use that as part of her exercise type plan.
All right, that was all that was asked, but thank you. Mr. Chadwick, did you want to call your next witness?
Yes. You should know that Ionia students are hard here, so a 1 mile walk is nothing for them.
Oh, is that okay? Ionia students are hardier. I got it. All right, perfect.
All right, I would like to call Tyler. I'm not going to call his mother. I'll just ask Tyler to take the stand.
Certainly, yes. Well, speaking as a guy who used to who had an hour bus ride to school, and for the first 2 years, I would throw up every morning when I got to school because I was car sick.
Oh,
so yeah.
That's a lot of people on the bus going up and down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. And a lot of time, a lot of trying to get your homework done on the
Ooh.
bus on the way home, and then getting even more car sick because you're reading and writing on the way. But anyway, Mr. Coleman, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in giving testimony?
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed, Mr. Chadwick.
Thank you. You are Savannah's father
Yes.
and the defendant in this case? Defendant, plaintiff?
I'm plaintiff.
Okay. Tell me about June 15 of last year. What did you observe?
So Holly had come to the house to pick up Savannah. Holly was quite frantic. She was crying, wanted to pick up Anna. Anna was scared.
Was it, whose parenting time was it?
It was Holly's. She pulled in the driveway. She was crying. I don't know why. Anna didn't want to go. I told Holly to calm down. She asked for some water. I gave her water. She's going on and on about something about Vanna not loving her or something like that, or I don't really remember the full details. Vanna, sorry, I keep talking. I'm just trying to remember everything. Then Vanna said, "Mommy, you're scaring me." And Holly was like, "Okay, well, just give me a hug." And then they hugged. And Vanna said, "I want to stay with Daddy." And Holly had said, "When can they come get you?" She said, "I'll come with you tomorrow." Then she said, "Okay." Then "Okay, give me one last hug." And then they hugged. And then Vanna kind of jutted back behind me. Holly was pulling her towards the vehicle. Holly was acting really, really different. Like she was under the influence of something. Just really abnormal, different. And then my mom had been on the porch. And I said, "Vanna, go on the porch, go stand behind grandma." And then Holly had made a beeline for the porch. And it's a complete like mood change. My mom had said to her, "Holly, you're scaring her." And then it's like a demon came out, and Holly said to my mom, "I'll beat your ass, bitch." And I looked at Holly, I said, "You need to leave right now. You just need to leave." And I stood in between my mom. My mom's 65 years old. And I just walked Holly back to her truck. She got in her truck. And did a little Dukes of Hazzard like thing in my yard. Sped off down the road. The next day, I believe I dropped off Holly, or not Holly, dropped off Savannah, not Holly's. That would have been 16.
All right. Let me set the stage. I should have set the stage earlier. June 15, 2023 was a Thursday night.
No, this would have been on the weekend, so it would have been 15. It would have been the 6th.
June 6th.
Yeah, this would have been a Saturday night. So this would have been a Saturday night this happened.
So you're sure it was a Saturday night?
Yes.
Okay.
Positive it was a Saturday night.
Okay. And that would be when the exchange would take place?
Yes.
Your house is not in the city, is that right?
Correct.
You have a front yard?
Yes.
And what kind of driveway?
Gravel.
All right. And your house is set back from the road?
Yeah.
It's a paved county country road?
Yes.
All right. Was this the normal time she would come to pick up Savannah?
Then it's a little bit later.
All right.
It was probably 5:30, 6 o'clock.
And this was the normal routine. She'd come to your house, Savannah would go to the car.
Per the court order, yes.
Was it unusual for Holly to get out of her car?
Yes.
All right. You know whether she was licensed that night to drive?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And was there any police involvement that night?
There was not that night, no, but I did call the police because of the way she was driving.
All right. What did you observe?
Erratic driving, just out of ordinary behavior, like she was under the influence of something.
So you're talking about the donut in your front yard, or when she was on the road, was she driving?
Both.
Both? Okay. All right. Now, let's talk about when Savannah's at your house on a school day, what is the routine?
So on a school day, I wake her up around 7:20. She usually has her clothes, but as a rule, she has her clothes out the night before. I wake her up. After I get out of the shower and I get dressed, I wake her up. I have her brush her teeth. Then I give her time to get dressed. I'm usually out in the living room, kitchen area, doing my thing. You know, get myself on, take my meds, get everything around, get my shoes on, check my email if I have to. We're usually out the door by 8 o'clock, 8:05 the latest.
What time does school start?
Elementary school started at 8:40.
And how far do you live from the school? How many miles?
7.3.
How long does it take you if you were to drive straight from your house to the elementary school?
17 minutes.
Okay. You typically leave around 8, you said?
8 o'clock, 8:05 the latest, sometimes 7:55.
All right. You go right to the school typically?
No,
Where do you go?
Bigby. That's about 3.5 miles away from my house.
On the way to the school?
Yes,
All right. Is that part of the routine that Savannah enjoys?
yes,
All right. Is she allowed to have drinks at school, in elementary school?
yes,
Okay. So after you take her to Bigby, you both get a drink?
yes,
And then where do you go?
right to school.
All right. Have you ever had trouble getting her to school on time?
No. Let me correct that. 3 times, but it wasn't super late. Maybe a couple minutes late.
All right.
And if it is, I walk her in and I sign her in. But that's just usually cover ourselves.
What's her attitude in the morning? Does she feel rushed?
Sometimes yes, but that's just 10-year-old child stuff. But not as a rule, no, not with me.
Do you ever have trouble getting her into the car? Is she ever unprepared? She doesn't have her lunch or her homework with her, or she's missing something?
She usually gets hot, or she usually gets hot lunch. She never has homework. She's had homework
I'm
maybe.
dating myself.
She's had homework maybe a total of 3 times,
Okay.
maybe 4 times this past school year.
I don't think any kid needs to bring a lunch anymore. But all right, so that's the morning routine. Now you have been to Holly Wright's house
I have.
on occasion.
I go there every time when I drop her off.
Have you been inside the
Drop her
house?
off.
Seen what's inside there?
I've been inside. I was inside the house in December.
2023, this past December.
Correct, when she was taking Booker Stoner out of the house.
Who's she?
Holly,
Who's Booker Stoner?
a person that lived in the home,
All right. Was your presence necessary?
in case Booker was gonna get out of hand.
Did anybody ask you to come over to the house?
Holly did.
Okay. So you went into the house, what did you observe?
It was a little messy, to say the least.
Well, describe it for us.
It was messy.
Objectively. What would you
It was messy.
tell someone that you saw?
There were dirty dishes on the counter. There was the dog, Bernie, took a poo on the floor. Holly left it for a little bit.
Did she eventually clean it up?
Not while I was there.
Okay,
There was beer cans and Fireball bottles outside.
fireball bottles, that's an alcohol.
Yeah.
All right. Did you see any indication of where Savannah sleeps? Or does she have a bedroom, her area? Or did you observe any of that?
I haven't seen her bedroom. I've only been told what's in her bedroom.
Mr. Coleman, so that I can, from my notes, when was this?
It's in December. of
Okay,
last-
December of 2023.
Correct.
Okay. Please proceed. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure I had the right timeline.
Yeah. Did you see Savannah's room, her area where she sleeps?
I haven't seen it, no. Not with my eyes. She's been only described it to me.
Okay.
So
Would you say the house was safe in that condition? Tell me more about Booker Stoner.
I'm sorry, can you just, I just didn't hear what you said when you said, was this house safe? I didn't hear your answer.
Could you repeat that answer, sir, then?
About the house being safe. What was your opinion?
it was very messy and not really the greatest.
Was it safe?
I don't think so.
Okay. Tell me about Booker Stoner.
I mean,
What did Holly tell you about him?
Holly told me that he had broken into the house, to the basement. This was after she had kicked him out of the house. She didn't feel safe with him in the house.
I mean,
You can cross-examine. So take notes, ma'am, and then you may cross-examine when you get a chance to question this witness.
okay, just because he's saying that I said stuff and I just,
You may counteract that, yes.
okay.
Yeah, the alleged statements that the parties have stated to each other are party admissions and allowable. They are not hearsay under the court rules. So you can talk about what you've heard each other say, because then, as you just,
And then
you can cross-examine on them.
Okay.
You may also call yourself as a witness to testify to what you believe you said.
Perfect.
So please proceed, Mr. Chadwick. Sorry for the interruption.
Sorry.
I think you stopped where he had broken into the basement.
There was a time where Holly, this is leading up to where where Holly had asked me to come to the house.
Uh-huh.
She didn't feel safe with Booker there. She had kicked Booker out, told him to leave, get his stuff, get out. He left. Well, he came back. This is Holly's mom. Okay. He came back through the basement and like hid upstairs somewhere in one of her like attic spaces up there. She didn't feel safe with him there.
Were you the only other adult in the home besides Holly Wright?
Yes.
How were you able to extract Booker from the attic?
Well, I wasn't there. I wasn't there for that one. She had told me about that.
Oh, okay.
Then she told him to get out.
But in December of 2023, you were in Holly's house and Booker was there.
Correct, as he was packing his stuff finally and leaving
Okay.
and getting out
So you were there just to observe that
to
happen.
make sure he was getting his stuff and getting out for good. Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me anything else about Booker? Did Holly tell you she had at one point allowed him to stay in the home?
Yes, she did.
All right.
She admitted it to the FOC investigator as well too.
Trying to see if we did a background check for him. Good. So I'll move on.
He's passed away, so I don't know if that's.
I think that takes him out of the
It does.
consideration of it being a problem at this point.
Yeah.
I'll take judicial notice of that. And there is case law that says if the problem is gone, it's no longer an issue for the court.
All right. So food, heat, electricity, water, and hotels. What did Holly tell you?
She told me that she was staying in, well, during the hotel time. She'd been staying in hotels because there's no electricity. There's no water. Electricity kind of falls under heat because it's the same bill.
All right. When she was staying in the hotel, were you aware that she and Savannah were in the hotel?
Yes.
I mean, when you did parenting time exchanges, were you aware that some of those had to take place at the hotel?
For a time, no, I wasn't. Then I just kind of caught on. Van told me, so then I asked Holly, and
We would have been one night.
What did Holly say? Go ahead and answer the question. What did Holly say?
she finally admitted to it, yes,
Admitted what?
that she was staying in a hotel because she had no heat or electricity.
All right, so you observed that she was in a hotel and she admitted that she was in a hotel. What is the longest period of time that Holly was staying in a hotel with Savannah?
Pretty close to a month,
Close to a month?
yes.
All right, she's denied that she was in a hotel for a month, but your testimony is it was pretty close to a month, correct? What makes you say that?
Time that she was there at her house. The times that I had to pick up Savannah at a hotel.
All right, which hotel did you pick her up?
It was between Super 8 and across from the fairgrounds.
I know it, but can you tell us the location of it? It's in the city of,
It's in the city of Ionia across from the fairgrounds.
okay. So we'll call that the hotel in the city of Ionia.
Okay,
Where is the Super 8 located?
south of Ionia by the expressway,
About how many miles south?
5 or 6.
How many occasions did you go 5 or 6 miles south of Ionia to pick up Savannah at the Super 8 hotel?
2 or 3.
And how many occasions did you go to the hotel in Ionia to pick up Savannah?
1.
All right. Were these different periods of time or one long period of time? I mean, was this all one after the other, or were there just various sporadic occasions when you were assigned to go to the hotel to pick up some?
There was a couple times I went out to Super 8. There was one time I went down to that one in Ionia.
Did Holly tell you why she was staying in a hotel?
Yeah, because she didn't have power. Or electric power or heat.
All right. What about water?
She told me she didn't have water before. They just stay at the house when there's no water.
They stay at the house when there's no water.
Mhm.
Did that affect Savannah?
Yeah, because she can't bathe or brush her teeth or
Yes, I don't know if I can object to that.
You may
Can I-
object, but on what basis? You may object, but on what basis?
Just because saying that we would stay here if there was no water is not accurate at all.
Okay.
I
In
mean,
that
I don't-
case, that's not an objection. That is
Okay.
a cross-examination
Okay, all
as to
right,
how he would know that or how he even,
right.
and then you may testify as to what you believe happened. You
Gotcha.
were there too, so you may
Right.
testify as to what you believe happened.
Okay.
Okay. All
So,
righty.
how do you know there was no water in the house if they were still in the house?
Holly admitted it to me.
All right. How many times did that happen?
One time for sure.
All right. In the past year, in the past 12 months, has Holly forfeited any parenting time?
Yes,
About how often has that happened?
2 to 3 times.
And each time she forfeited parenting time, were you aware ahead of time that she was forfeiting parenting time, or did you find out after?
Oh no, afterwards
What did she tell you?
she forgot.
I'm going to show you a picture, perhaps. I learned how to do this on the 14th, and now everything I learned is flushed away. Time will do
Just
that.
have it on your screen, and then hit the green share button at the bottom, and then you have to click on the picture that you want to share. And as some people found inappropriately, make sure you click on the right picture to share. And be careful what you have up on your screen.
Share screen.
And if a picture of Cher and if a picture of Sonny and Cher come up, I'm just going to laugh.
All right. I'm sharing this picture. Can you describe this picture to me?
Yeah, that's Paul Hester.
All right. You're familiar with who that is?
Yeah, it's somebody that's frequenting Holly's house.
All right. Can you describe the picture?
It's a tattooed person with a machine gun tattooed on his forehead and a bunch of other tattoos on his face.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but can I question the relevance of even bringing him up?
The relevance would be if he's allegedly coming to your house, he has a right to have concerns and he may bring them up. But
I'll ask her.
I was going to say, you're going to have to under cross-examination, but at the same time, I'm thinking that Mr. Chadwick, this would have been more appropriate to bring up with her to find out who he is and if he is visiting to the house. I'm not sure what basis Mr. Coleman has for this. Has he seen her at the house? Has he seen him at the house?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Probably right. I probably got a lot more questions I should have asked Ms. Wright before I. But it was 11:40 and
right,
ready to go.
Yeah.
And,
yep, I understand. So,
anyway,
but I'll take this tongue-in-cheek testimony and allow cross-examine on it. So, but please tell me who you know, how you know, and what you believe.
All right. Did you take this picture?
I did not take this picture. No, it came off of Facebook.
Okay. And what is there a page on Facebook where you saw this picture?
His Facebook.
All right. You saw the picture on his Facebook page.
Yes.
All right. And you've seen him outside of this picture?
Yes.
So that you could recognize this man as Paul Hester?
Yes.
How did you occasion to see this man, Paul Hester, other than this picture on his Facebook page?
He's at Holly's house.
All right. You saw him there?
Yes.
Approximately when was that?
May.
Of this year?
Yes.
All right.
Can you repeat your answer? Sorry, I didn't hear.
He saw him at your house sometime this year.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know if you said a date or something. All right. Sorry.
No, he didn't, unfortunately.
Okay.
Specifically May of this year. That was your testimony?
Correct.
Okay.
May of this year?
Okay.
Okay.
Now this is our exhibit 8 that was
okay.
uploaded to the
I know that
commission.
this is the problem that I have, that I keep moving around, is this 3-inch stack of exhibits you sent me proposed, and I realize you needed to, but all right, let me see if I can find that one, because I don't have any tabs on these things. So this will be the court's exhibit number, is this 5 now?
I've got 4.
4. This is exhibit number 4. Got it. Okay.
All right. And are you aware whether Mr. Hester has a criminal record? Yes.
Yes, I am.
Okay. And how do you know what his criminal record is?
Case search. Public information.
Okay. I'm jumping. You can't see what I'm doing, but it's attached. Oh, it is. Okay. So that exhibit 8.
I found it.
All right, exhibit 8. I had it on the screen.
Yes.
It's more than just a picture of Mr. Hester. There's also a background history.
Oh, sure. And I lost my place. Great. I just found the picture. I wish you would have told me there was something behind it.
Yeah,
All right, never mind. I'll find it again.
the total exhibit is. Well, I can't get to the bottom of it. There we go. 26 pages. The first of which is a picture, and the rest of it is criminal history. Can you tell us, and I'll share screen again.
Okay.
All right. When you observed Mr. Hester's criminal history, what did you see?
Stalking, an aggravated stalking charge.
Yeah. I mean, this is
That got, but if you go down further on it, it got pled down to a stalking charge.
Mr. Kometz, I feel so cheap doing this. The Supreme Court's zeal for Zoom hearings kind of turns witness testimony on its head when I'm able to show him the answers on the screen.
Right.
So
Right.
at it in real time. I guess we've already admitted this. I just want to make
Right.
clear.
I'm just trying to figure out where it ends.
Yeah, well, it's 26 pages total.
And I guess in with the idea of not going through, I don't understand the relevance of it.
The
Which I know
relevance is one of the things that can be
but-
argued, ma'am, is that you're exposing this child to dangerous individuals.
Okay.
And whether or not you know they're dangerous is the question. But at the same time, if you are continuing to have dangerous individuals come to your
Right.
house, we just had a testimony of somebody that you had in your house that you had to remove from your house, who broke into your house, who you were scared of, and the child would be exposed to that person. So
And I guess that's, again, you only have heard his side, so I guess that's where.
right.
All right, I just wanted to, in lieu of wasting time, I just
Unfortunately, this isn't a waste of time. This is what the court
That's
needs
fine.
to hear. And
Okay.
the court then needs to hear your side of the story. That's why you're both here.
Okay.
All right, so I would just ask to officially admit all 26 pages of this Exhibit 8 and it's Court Exhibit 4, and just include all the criminal history along with the picture.
Okay. Miss Wright, any comments? Any objections?
I would object to it, I guess, because I mean it's irrelevant, and if it's just the case history, if it's the case history of somebody.
If you're objecting to relevance, that's going to be overruled because this is very relevant. If there's evidence that you have this man at your house and this child is at your house and he has a history of violence and stalking, that is a concern of the court.
Oh, it is? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's a large concern. Now I'm going to go back to trying to count 26 pages. All right. So yeah, I will enter this as exhibit along with exhibit number 4.
Thank you.
Looks like it's longer than 26 pages to me. I don't think I counted wrong, but
There it is. Okay.
they're not paginated, so it's hard to tell. And then I took it all the way back to exhibit number 9. So that should take care of it.
I often tell clients, this is not like court TV. This is not like a small conversation. It's almost intended to be boring. And my prophecy is coming true. So again, I apologize for not being very entertaining with this evidence, but
it is what it is.
As
long as the evidence is relevant, that's really what I need. And we'll see what the other side has to say, because it's, a one-sided conversation. You can convict a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Right.
All right. Now I have another picture that
Okay.
In my exhibits. This one came in later. So
Okay.
I'm going to ask the witness to describe the picture, and that his testimony of describing the picture might just be enough. I don't think I need
Okay.
to see this picture. But
Okay.
what you see on the screen, Mr. Cole?
This is Paul Hester with a gun in Holly Wright's house.
Okay.
And how did you come across this picture?
Facebook.
All right. And it was on whose website, whose Facebook page?
Paul Hester's.
All right. And why do you say this is Holly Wright's house?
Same paint. I've been in this room before. This room is the room facing the driveway. The back driveway to our house.
All right.
This is the studio, the music studio. Or it was the music studio at one point.
All right. What is Mr. Hester doing in the picture?
Playing with his thumbs, I don't know, standing there with a gun in his pocket.
Pocket. Where's the gun holstered?
On his left hip, thigh.
All right.
It's brown. And
Are there any other people in the picture?
no,
All right. So, your concern is that Mr. Hester, well, tell me what is your concern about Mr. Hester being in Holly's house?
that he's unsafe.
I'll stop the share on the picture. Do you happen to know how Ms. Wright knows Mr. Hester?
Through Matt Preston.
All right. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about your house. What kind of amenities do you have for Savannah at your house?
Meaning amenities.
Is there heat in the house, water, food?
Heat, water, there's food. She has her own bed. She has her own phone.
Who else lives in the house with you?
My mom.
Anyone else?
No.
How many bedrooms are in the house?
2.
So when Savannah's at your house, where does Savannah sleep?
Her and I share a bed.
All right. Share a bed or a bedroom? Bedroom. She has her own bed?
Yes.
All right.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up a little bit. You said, can you just repeat the answer?
She has her own bed?
Yes.
All right.
That, okay. When you asked if they shared it, never mind. Sorry, I'll ask when it's my turn.
You recently had a fire at your house?
Correct.
Tell me about that.
It was an electrical fire. Old heat tape was underneath new heat tape. Caught on fire. Been fixed. The electrical inspector came and inspected it, passed it. The repairs were made to everything that needed to be repaired.
When did that fire happen?
May 4th this year.
Are you back in the house?
Yes.
When was there a time you had to leave the house?
Yes.
Where did you live when you left the house?
My mother went to we stayed in a hotel for 4 days. Then I stayed at a friend of mine's house. My mom went to our cousin's house. And we were there 2 weeks tops. I'd be back in Memorial Day. My mom came back on that Friday.
When Savannah was with you for parenting time, did she go to those other locations with you?
Yes.
Are there any more repairs that need to be done here? Bring your house back to habitability.
Not defined habitability.
Well, yeah, ability to live there.
No,
Okay,
we're living there now.
okay. Let's move on to Kristen Preston. And if you could confirm, Mr. Kmetz, I'm no longer sharing my screen. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, good.
Correct.
And I'm sorry, and I hate to keep interrupting. I just wanted to make sure. So she was in jail and currently in a halfway house. So I don't know if just similar to like Booker, like she's
Not necessarily. This one is a
okay.
little different. I need to know what contact she has and what contact she's
Oh,
capable of having, and whether you're going to continue to have contact with her in that house when your child is there,
yeah.
and why she would be a danger.
Okay.
The reason that I was able to cut the other one so short is that we know there's not going to be no more contact.
Okay.
All right, I'm sharing what we had submitted earlier as exhibit 6.
And I found that one. So I found it again.
All right. And can you describe the picture that you see on the screen?
That's Kristen Preston. It's her MDOC information.
Have you seen her before in person outside of this picture?
Yes.
All right. And the person in the picture appears to be Kristen Preston.
Yes.
I'll move for the admission of this exhibit. I think
Exhibit
it
number
was-
5.
I think it was 6.
Well, you didn't admit the other guy's picture. Remember, you said just a description of it.
Yeah, yeah. Court exhibit number 5. Thank you.
Okay, any objection to this, Miss Wright?
Or it's
I guess
yeah.
Is the picture what?
That's what the exhibit is, the picture, or
It's the entire Michigan Department of Corrections report.
fine.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's public, so
yeah, there's
it
no
doesn't, and it's kept in the normal course of events, which means it's not prepared for this trial. It may be prepared for somebody else's trial on the criminal division, but not for the purposes of the civil trial. So it doesn't fall within the boundaries of hearsay. So we'll go ahead and enter that as an exhibit. Now you may question upon it, sir.
All right. Are you aware whether Ms. Preston was in the house where Savannah is staying with her mother?
She has been, yes.
All right. Last name is Preston. Is she related to Ms. Wright's boyfriend, Matthew Preston?
Yes, they're cousins.
Okay. You know this?
Yes.
All right. And what periods of time are you aware that she was in the house? In Ms. Wright's house?
I would say 21, 22, as far as I know.
All right. Was she the subject of a CPS investigation in 2022?
I believe so, yes.
And you're aware of that because why? Don't look at my notes. In 2022, were you informed that she should not be in the house?
Oh, yes. That's CPS investigation. Yeah. Yes, CPS documented that she shouldn't be in the house around Savannah.
And you were informed of that?
Correct. Yes.
The CPS
Yes.
worker that was investigating?
When Kristen Preston's name was mentioned, they're like, "Oh, yeah, we know her."
Okay. And
they specifically told Holly not to have Savannah around Kristen.
okay. That was what year and month, if you remember?
When the CPS investigation was done and over with, that was, I want to say August of 2020. August or September of 2022.
Okay. Are you aware whether Ms. Preston continued in the house after that point?
Yes, she did.
Did Ms. Preston have any pets while she was staying in the house?
Karma.
Karma is
I was a pit bull.
all right. And what can you tell me about Karma the pit bull?
Karma bit my daughter in the face.
When did that happen?
December 19th, 2022.
Okay.
What date? I'm sorry again.
December 19th, 2022.
And
You
whose
were-
dog was this?
It's Kristen Preston's dog, but
This was okay.
But it was under the care of Holly Wright.
Okay.
All right.
on to all this.
Would Holly have been aware that Karma the dog was a dangerous dog?
Yes,
Why is that?
because it attacked the neighbor's dog and attacked somebody in Belding as well.
All right. Would Savannah have been aware that Karma the dog was a dangerous dog?
Yes,
Why is that?
because it killed her kitten
When did that happen?
shortly before it bit Vanna in the face.
After Savannah was bit, was she taken to the hospital?
Yes,
What happened to Karma the dog?
eventually she was put down.
After attacking Savannah, Karma was put down.
Yes,
When you find it, speak up.
so
There it is.
fine.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with this one. This is the exhibit 5 that we submitted earlier. I'll share it.
Wait, your exhibit 5 or the one I just marked as exhibit 5?
This is my exhibit 5.
Okay.
We would propose it as court exhibit 6.
Okay. I have it.
And
Well, Ms. Wright, any objections? And this is a incident report from the Kent County, Ionia County Animal Shelter.
Oh, no, that's fine. You can
Okay.
enter that.
All right, that'll be entered as exhibit, court's exhibit number 6.
thank you. All right, I'm looking for a date on this. It looks like the date of the incident is 3/09/22. Do you see that? Mr. Coleman?
Yes,
All right. Is that consistent when you recall this incident happening? Or recall seeing the report?
this would have been from the one up in Belding.
Okay. So in this incident,
This,
Karma the dog attacked another dog.
this was a document that I had FOIA'd from.
Okay. I'm having a conversation with my past self. I put this together because it does say that the dog is, the owner of the dog is Kristen Preston.
Hmm.
Yes. And that, she was aware that the dog, Karma the dog, had attacked another dog. I guess that's all we need that exhibit for. Pull up another exhibit. All right. I think I'm still sharing.
You are.
Okay, so this is what we had submitted to the court as exhibit 4, and we would propose it as court exhibit 7.
Let me find it. I do have exhibit 4. Exhibit 6 seems to have a secondary report behind it. You showed the first page indicating the incident of the dog on or about March 17th, 2023. There is a secondary portion in that is from Saturday, October 15th, 2022.
That would have been when the dog.
I understand, but is that part of an exhibit or are you entering that as another exhibit?
I prefer to just keep them all as one.
Okay, because there was no testimony on the last 2 pages. I don't want them dangling in the background.
Okay.
So let's finish with court exhibit number 6 before we move on to trying to enter court exhibit number 7. Because I also want Ms. Wright, you have these exhibits, they were sent to you.
Yeah.
You may cross-examine on these when it's your turn to cross-examine. Okay,
Okay.
All right, so this, the last 2 pages of Court Exhibit 6 gives us a date, a report date of 10/15/2022. Do you see that, Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
All right. And I'm scanning right now, but I see that the name Holly comes up and Kristen comes up and Holly's boyfriend Matt's name comes up. So can you summarize what this report tells us?
This is a report from when Karma either broke her leash or jutted out the door and went and attacked the neighbor's dog. The neighbor Keegan, I don't know his last name. But Karma attacked the neighbor's dog.
All right, and this would be 2 months before Karma attacked Savannah, correct? All right. So we move for this admission of the last 2 pages of Exhibit 6.
okay. Well, it'll be marked as Exhibit 6 in its totality on issues with the dog. I just wanted to not let something that had a different factual basis and time to just be ignored and just thrown into the exhibit list without it being on the record and then being allowed to cross-examine so that the court can review it and so can it be cross-examined upon. Or that was a lengthy sentence. Anyway, yes, ma'am.
Can we make sure that I just want to make sure that all pages of that.
It says there is a 2-page, it's one of 2 pages, and there's a back page that really doesn't have anything on it except it was submitted by a detective, Alec Lynn.
Oh, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's a 2-page document. The first half of Exhibit 6 is also a 2-page document.
Okay.
All right.
So now,
but that way you know that it's in evidence, ma'am, and you may cross-examine on it, and that was the reason I did that.
Thank you.
All right, please proceed, Mr. Chadwick. Sorry for the interruption. I'm just trying to get it right.
Yeah, so I've got what's been marked, what we've submitted as Exhibit 4. This is our proposed court Exhibit 7.
Okay, and that is also so marked.
It is a total of 4 pages. And the last page is a picture.
Okay.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 7.
All right, ma'am, any objection to this one?
Can you just, sorry, like.
This is a report and investigation of an animal bite.
Oh, that's fine.
It is also the issue concerning the bite, and the picture is of your daughter and her face after the dog bit her.
That's fine. Yep.
Okay, that will be marked as court exhibit number 7.
I apologize. I'm able to zoom in.
No need to apologize. No need to apologize. Like I said, I just want you informed.
Yeah.
The court's being informed, and everything stays above board.
Thank you.
All right. Karma has been put down, Mr. Coleman, but is there another dog in the home that you're aware of?
There's 2 other dogs. There's a dog, Bernie, and then there's a dog, Apollo, another pit bull.
All right. How do you know this?
Seen them both.
Okay. Apollo's a pit bull. Does it belong to Ms. Preston or Ms. Wright? Do you know?
It belongs to Matt's daughter, Torrance.
Okay.
It belongs to whose daughter?
Matt's daughter, Torrance.
She's an adult or a minor child?
Adult, so I think, pretty sure.
Okay.
She's what? She's 16?
Torrance?
Apollo. I'm sorry, the girl. Torrance.
I think she's 18.
Okay. And you said it was Matt's daughter?
Yes.
And she lives in that house?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And the other dog?
Yes.
Her name Bernie.
Well, okay, Miss Wright, hold on. I guess you can clarify. Is she 18? Is she?
Okay, that's what I didn't want to.
No problem.
She's 18 and she's back and forth between our house and her mom's house.
So for visitation. So
she's right now, because it's summertime, she's out here for a little bit longer than at her mom's, but yeah, back and forth.
Okay.
Adult, so she kind of.
Again, her and the dog are in the house.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Next, I'm sorry. Thank you for the interruption, and sorry for the interruption,
Yeah.
gentlemen, because I wanted to keep it with my notes in order. Okay.
Okay.
Is there a problem, gentlemen?
Oh, it's 3:51 and it's parenting exchange time right now, 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Then go ahead and go.
I just wanted to let you know and let Ms. Wright know that Ms. Coleman is going to go get Savannah.
Oh, okay. So we're going to continue.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know whether you meant that you wanted to recess or not. Okay.
No. We're all
Oh.
set. Thank you.
Then
Tyler, your
let the
mom's
ch-
trying to get her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you have Vanna meet
Yeah.
at the bottom of the driveway, so she doesn't
Yeah.
drive up that driveway?
Yeah.
Can we take like a 5-minute break then, just so I can go get Vanna?
Sure. We can adjourn for 5 minutes, of course.
Okay. That way I can make sure she meets your mom.
Again, the court tries to do what's in the best interest of a kid, and keeping a kid's normal routine is in the best interest of a kid.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
And you are still under oath. Mr. Chadwick, please proceed.
Now, during the break, I was informed that 2 witnesses, very short witnesses, I have been waiting on.
Do you want to get them in and out?
Yeah, if I can come back to
Okay.
Tyler later.
Yeah, we can reserve on that. And I do the same for you, Miss Wright. If you got witnesses you want to have go first, let's get them in and out. I didn't realize we had any witnesses that were waiting. Otherwise, I would have told you, get them in, get them out. The parties are always here.
Mhm.
Right.
I don't like to waste people's times. So are they physically present in your office, Mr. Chadwick?
No, they're on Zoom.
Okay, who are we looking for first?
Heather Hoppo.
Heather, come on down.
That person was in the waiting room, but not anymore. I just have Gordon Taylor.
Then let's check with Gordon Taylor, and you can give the other one a call and tell him to come in about, what, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, bring in the one.
5 minutes.
Time is relative.
Right.
Depends on what side of the bathroom door you're sitting on front of. Mr. Taylor, welcome, sir. You've been called as a witness in this matter. So Gordon Taylor, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in giving testimony?
I do.
All right, please proceed, Mr. Chadwick.
Mr. Taylor, you are familiar with Tyler Coleman?
Yes.
All right. How do you spell your last name
Taylor
and your first name?
Gor. Good friends, and we do a lot of work together.
All right. You own a business together?
Yes.
What's the name of that?
A couple different variations of it, but Dragon Connected and Dragonfly.
All right. You're not part of Redbeard?
Not officially, no.
Okay.
But I do a lot of work under him. Yeah.
And you install computer systems, networking, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you're coming to us from a cell phone that looks like it's in your lap and making us all dizzy. Is that true?
I know there's a laptop in my lap.
I was going to say, that's not what I'm seeing.
Right.
Miss Wright, how about you?
No, it looks fine. It
Okay.
looks like a.
Mr. Chadwick, I think it's just you. Maybe you want to check your glasses.
It's water in there.
Yeah, okay, all right.
All right. So you have done work and jobs installing computer equipment with Mr. Coleman. Have you occasion to see his daughter Savannah?
Quite a bit.
All right. And can you tell me about a circumstance where you had to go see Savannah while she was at her mom's house?
I assume you're referring to the time that she either texted or called him,
Who's she?
Savannah,
And she
about,
Tyler?
sorry, what was that?
She texted or called Tyler?
Yes. I would have been later in the evening when we were on a job site about her having not eaten dinner yet. I assume 8:30, 9 o'clock. It's been a little while. I don't remember exactly, but
All right. What did you observe Tyler do?
he left the job site and went and brought her food.
Were you with him?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of food did he bring?
Fast food, if I remember. It was, something basic, but it was,
Did anyone take the food from him?
uh,
Drove to the house, I assume the driveway.
yeah.
Did someone come and get the food?
I honestly, I don't remember. I would assume Savannah came out, but I don't remember that part, to be honest.
And
Okay.
when was this? Forgive me.
about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Did it happen the one time or any other time?
I remember the one time I was with him. And then there's other times she's texted him when we're working. We don't work late a lot anymore though, so.
All right. Have you seen Tyler with Savannah?
Yeah,
What
quite
kind
a
of
bit.
relationship do they have that you've observed?
It's pretty playful, sarcastic, I guess. Yeah, she's been in my office quite a bit too. And back when I had my store, she was in there quite a bit as well.
Okay. I have no further questions.
You may cross-examine this witness, Ms. Wright.
Hi, Gordon. I
Oh.
don't think we've officially met. But so the time that you were referring to about her texting or calling and saying she hadn't eaten, do you recall if Tyler had messaged me at all or reached out to me prior to just bringing her fast food?
I don't remember that. I don't think she had her own phone then. I think she had texted from your phone.
Okay. And he grabbed her fast food and brought it, and it was, I think what I remember of it, it was like 10 o'clock at night. Is that seem about right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then you said that their relationship was playful and sarcastic. Can you give an example of what you mean by that?
I mean, usually she's got quite a few jokes to tell. So does Tyler. So do I. She tends to laugh a lot.
With you guys telling jokes between each other, I know I've seen some text messages and read different things. Are all of the jokes in conversation in front of her age appropriate for a 10-year-old?
It's subjective, but no, probably not all of them.
I guess to be more specific, does it include, cussing and, inappropriate things such as that?
Jokes directly between Tyler and I, yeah. To Vanna, no.
Do you recall a time when you received a image from Savannah while she was in Tyler's care? I presume it was at one of the offices you guys work at, where Savannah's sitting on the toilet and sent an image to you after her dad had said, send that to Gordon, he'll think it's funny.
I do. She was in the bathroom and she had the camera facing at the ceiling and she passed gas and thought it was funny. But it was a video of the ceiling and it was just of her farting and laughing.
Yeah, but you could tell that she was in the bathroom though, correct?
Yeah, I was in the next room over when she did it.
Do you recall playing a song called Cow by Doja Cat in front of Savannah?
I don't
maybe
remember
that's
it,
not the exact name of it, but
I know the song I'm referring to.
Okay.
I'm not saying I didn't. I don't remember it, no.
All right. She seems to have it in her head that she is aware of that song because she heard it when you played for her.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that.
Okay. Have you ever seen my interaction with Savannah at all?
A little bit. But no, our interactions have been pretty.
Okay. The reason I asked in regards to being able to weigh in one way or another, like, I know, Tyler's a great dad, but just whether or not you could speak on my parenting.
No, not from firsthand experience, no.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes.
It's okay. Attorneys take a minute all the time too, so feel free.
Do you have any interaction between you and Savannah as far as text messaging or having each other's phone numbers?
Yes.
You do. And can you describe like what kind of conversations you have with that 10-year-old?
Usually it's just her texting me a bunch of middle fingers.
And what's your response back?
Not much often. I think I've probably responded with the same a couple of times.
Okay. And that's a phone that it's the one that Tyler has provided for her. So it's
I
while
would,
she's in his care.
I would assume so.
Okay. All right. Just checking. I don't think I have any more questions.
Okay. Any further examination of this witness, sir?
No.
Okay, sir, you are excused.
All right. Thank you.
Let's see if we can get your other witness in that.
Heather Hoppo.
Okay, is Heather Hoppo here?
No.
Give her a call, Mr. Chadwick.
Hey, are you able to get into Zoom? All right, she's trying to, I'm in court right now. She's trying to load back into it right now, but I kept kicking her out.
Yeah, as soon as she shows up, bring her on in.
Just to give you a preview. I've got 3 more exhibits from my list I'd like to get entered through Tyler.
Okay.
Any more questions for him? So then
Certainly.
move on to cross-examination. And
Certainly.
perhaps we can be done by 5. Can we keep you here till 5?
Yeah, and then we'll have to set it for another day for her to present her witnesses.
Oh, no, it works.
Yeah.
She got in once. Well, just to save time.
There's a number to call. Mr. Kratz?
Yes.
Oh, there she is.
Hey,
Okay, now if we can get her to detect audio.
Might because I'm on the phone with her. I'm gonna hang up and goodbye.
Yeah, that probably is. Yeah. Come on, Heather, you guys are all younger than me. You should be able to do this much better than I do it.
Heather, welcome to the program.
She's not audio connected yet. Yeah. So almost welcome to the program.
She is referee. She
Oh,
just
she
has
is?
to unmute.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, it just clicked. Okay, now if you can unmute. So maybe my computer was slow or something because that didn't collect for me till just that second. Okay. Heather, can you hear us? Heather? All right, to check. Holly, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Tom, you can hear me?
We can hear.
Okay. Yeah, the other day, for the first time in 18 years, I actually spilled water on my computer. So
Oh.
about halfway through a hearing, it died. I brought it back in about 10 minutes, but it took 10 minutes. But I just wanted to make sure that there was no lasting, lingering effects, and it wasn't me that was freezing. All right. Ms. Hopaw, can you hear us? It looked like she connected. I don't understand.
Yeah, it looks like she's not muted, but her audio, her video.
It showed that the audio connected because we got a check mark instead of an X.
Yeah.
Or at least I did. Heather? Tyler, give her a call. Tell her to sign out and sign back in. We'll see if we can reset it.
Hey, can you hear everyone? Yeah, we can't hear you. Yeah, Mr. Kmet says sign out, sign back in.
See if that sets it.
I can't hear. No.
I know in the past I've had to call from one device, like
Right.
audio device, and then visually see
Yeah.
from another one.
That's one of our solutions if we have to go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, sign out and sign back in. Okay. But.
While we're waiting, happy birthday, Tyler.
Hey.
Oh, happy birthday, Tyler.
Thanks.
I didn't know.
I turned 40.
Well, enjoy.
Nah, I have
Your body still works.
I have some kind of sciatic nerve pain going on.
Oh man, if that's already started.
Yeah. Dana told me all about it. You got to get a shot in your butt. She
Oh.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter at that age, I clipped my head and needed 15 staples in the top of my head. She went to the hospital and the ER. She was just so happy that she could see my skull.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So of course, being the 10-year-old that she was, she took pictures.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like something my daughter would do.
Yeah, while she was in there talking about inappropriate, well, we had to take her in the following year and she had scoliosis and she was in such pain and all the tests were coming back normal because that's, a bone issue, not a body issue. And so they were giving her everything. They finally, after the opiates, they gave her Dilaudid as well.
Oh, geez.
And next thing you know, she's singing, oh God, who did Spaceballs? And Men in Tights. Yeah, she's singing Mel Brooks songs, and some of them are slightly off on the. We're sitting here going, "Great, CPS is about to get called."
That medication will do it to you. I worked at the hospital for 15 years, and
yeah,
that'll do it.
Yeah, doctor came in while she's full-throated singing something from Men in Tights, and she did something about just the Inquisition as well. She did that one. There was quite a few that we were like, oh God. But anyway, he looked at us and he said, your daughter's high right now, just in case you wanted to know. Well, you're the doctor and you're the one that gave it to her, so.
Working. Is there a phone number she can call to call in?
Rebecca?
Yes. Let me bring that up. Mr. Chadwick, if you have access to the chat on Zoom, I just find it easier. I can just put it in the chat there for you guys.
Okay. I'm just going to send her that so we're not...
Yeah, that way she can call in. Yeah, that's the other thing different than TV in this. This takes days, especially when we're dealing with an issue as important as this.
Yeah.
I've had trials like this last 7 to 10 days. So I don't think this one will go that long, but we are in for another day or two because I want to give you your full chance to present your witnesses, Ms. Wright.
Yep.
And I get to let you cross-examine your ex. I felt bad one time. I had a psychologist on the stand and the one party who was not represented by an attorney got to cross-examine him on, and that was her doctor, and it was not pretty.
Yeah.
I had a Post-it note on my bench for 7 years that if he ever walked back into my courtroom too, I was going to give him an apology. Didn't have a choice.
Anyone have any plans for the 4th?
A bunch of yard work. I can't wait for the snow to come back.
Really?
Yeah, less mowing when it's snowing.
Yeah, less mowing, well, the 17 trees that I'm still cutting up.
Oh, from the storm?
Yeah, from the storm last August.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've got 10 trees left.
Jeez.
Didn't you say last time those trees were like huge?
Let me give you a taste. This is the one tree from the front yard that I had somebody else take down because it was too big for me. That's one tree.
Yeah, you showed us that one last time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one tree. So, and I carried all those down from the front yard to the backyard myself. Well, I had my little John Deere tractor and my little 3x4 trailer.
Actually, she's in here now.
Okay, Heather, can we hear you? Can you hear us? All right, did you call in on the phone line as well? All right. Looks like I'm going to have to play my game on how I do this. I have an out as well. Mr. Chadwick, can you chat to Rebecca, this witness's phone number?
Yeah.
And then I am going to switch from headphones.
We can't hear you, referee.
It just changed. How about now?
Okay, now we can.
Okay. And Miss LeVay, if you could chat me that phone number. I've learned all kinds of tricks over the past 4 years. I've never had to cancel a hearing because we can't get somebody in.
Wow. That is
Refuse.
access to justice.
Now, we may have some delays like this, but I don't give up easy.
That is.
Oh,
Yeah.
there it is. As I'm watching everybody in the background, not paying attention to the number, my Miss LeVay just texted me.
Hello,
Hi, Holly. Can you hear me?
I'm Heather, but yeah.
Oh, Heather, I'm sorry. Wrong one.
But I can
I've
hear
got
you
you
too.
blocked. I've got you blocked by a chat window. So wait, you can hear us, obviously, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Does your device not?
The microphone and everything's on.
Okay, go ahead and mute or go ahead and shut off that. We're going to just do this by my phone because we're getting a feedback loop. Okay. Miss LeVay, can you hear Miss? Can you hear Miss Hoppa?
Did hear her earlier, but if you want to double check.
Okay, all right. Sign her out, put her in the waiting room on this. We're gonna only use her on the phone. All right, now try. Miss LeVay, can you hear Miss Hoppa?
Hello.
There we go.
Yes, we can.
All right. And I can hear her and I can hear all of you. So let us proceed.
All right.
Miss Hoppa, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in giving testimony?
Yeah.
All righty, please proceed, Mr. Chadwick.
All right. Please tell us your first name and spell it.
Heather, Heather.
And your last name.
Hoppo, HoppouGh.
All right. And do you know Holly Wright?
Yes.
How do you know her?
I just know her through my niece and a mutual friend and her daughter and Tyler.
All right. You know Tyler. You also know their child, Savannah.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us about an event that took place in Ionia at the Ionia Skate Land?
So when we were all at the skating rink, when Holly was inside the rink at the same time with Savannah, Savannah was trying to talk to her, and Holly just kind of just stared off into space down at the floor, half sleeping. And then
Was she standing or sitting at that point?
standing.
Okay.
And
what-
who was this?
Holly.
Holly, okay. I got mixed up whether it was Holly or Savannah. And when was this?
It would have been the 5th grade skate night for Jefferson.
And when was that? What year?
That was just a couple of months ago.
Okay,
It was this year.
so approximately May.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at this event, Holly took Savannah to the event.
Yes.
Was she a chaperone or just there as a parent?
She was just there as a parent.
All right. And what did Holly do while Savannah was at the skating event?
She was inside for a little bit, and then she went outside and was taking a nap in her vehicle.
Did you see her outside in the vehicle?
I did.
All right. What did you observe while she was outside in the vehicle?
To me, it looked like she was sleeping.
All right. Were you aware that she has type 1 diabetes?
I knew she had diabetes. I don't know, obviously, the severity of it.
Okay. All right. So if she had low blood sugar, she would be sleepy. And did it appear that she was sleeping?
No,
Okay. What did it appear that was happening?
that she was on drugs.
What makes you say that?
That she was nutting out
Nutting out?
before on drugs.
I'm sorry, can you repeat what you just said? I didn't hear what you said.
You
Can you
used,
say that again, hon?
Yeah, she asked, can you repeat that? How you knew, why you would know?
So I know other people that have been on drugs. That is the same reaction that they do. You're standing in one spot, nodding out, or whatnot.
the verb you keep using, is it nodding? N-O-D-I-N-G?
Nodding, yes, like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like sleeping, but not sleeping. I don't know how else to explain it. Sorry.
Okay. You saw her in her vehicle nodding out?
That was inside the building
Okay.
when Savannah was trying to talk to her.
All right.
If she was outside in her vehicle, she may have been sleeping, but she was sitting there in her vehicle,
How long?
sleeping, cutting out, whichever. I wasn't standing right next to her at that point, but what I seen inside was definitely not normal.
All right. I have a question for you. Just specifically into the question so you can tell us the answer. How long was she in the vehicle that you observed?
Let's see. She was inside for a little bit, and then she went outside until close to the end when she came in and got Savannah. So, like, hour, maybe a little longer.
All right. Approximately how long was the total event?
2 hours.
How did Savannah react to seeing her mother like this?
She just told my son, my mom does that sometimes.
You heard her say that?
Yeah.
All right.
And then she and my son went over to play games.
Now, you and I talked for about a minute and a half earlier and you said that there was an event at the skate land, and you said there was an event at the gas station, and then you had to go and I couldn't get a hold of you after that. I called several times. What can you tell me about the gas station?
I was still at work.
Okay. What can you tell me about the gas station?
It was kind of the same thing when she was there to get fountain pop, as was I. She was kind of standing still for a minute and like nodding out.
When was that approximately?
That would have been shortly before the skating rink episode.
All right.
So I had said something to Tyler and asked him if she was okay.
When you say nodding out, you mean she's nodding her head up and down?
So she couldn't keep her eyes open, and she was just kind of, it would almost be like somebody that's where they just fall asleep standing up. It was kind of like that.
She was standing at the time at the gas station?
Yes.
All right. And was that behavior that you observed consistent with the behavior of others you knew to be under the influence?
Yes.
All right. I don't have any further questions.
Hi, Heather.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
when
say,
you
now cross-examine the witness, ma'am.
so when you say nodding out, describe that again. What were my eyes doing? They were open, they were closed.
Can you say that one more time? It cut out.
Can you explain what you mean by nodding out again for me?
So, like any other person that I have seen on drugs,
I'm
were
not
you
asking
standing
about
there?
Hold
drugs. I'm
on.
asking you to describe
Let
just
her
the.
answer. Holly, let her answer the question,
Okay.
and then you may follow up with another question. Okay. Finish answering the questions, ma'am.
Okay, so when you're standing there and you can't hardly keep your eyes open and you're almost tipping over because you're half falling asleep, but you're half awake.
And that's how you would describe me, that I was tipping over because I'm half falling asleep at both of those events?
I wouldn't say tipping over, but for instance, at the skating rink, when Savannah was trying to talk to you, she was trying to get your attention and she couldn't even get you to focus on her.
So I guess, have you ever seen what a legally blind person would look like as they're standing to get fountain pop or as they're interacting with people?
Well, when I just seen you
I
the other
just answer the question.
Hold on. Let her answer the question, please. You ask the question, don't talk over her when she's trying to answer it. Whether you like the answer or not,
Okay.
just let her finish the answer. All right, ma'am, please finish the answer.
He said when I seen her the other day at the gas station again, she didn't look like that.
Well, it didn't look like what?
She didn't look like she was on drugs and she wasn't nodding out. She was standing there like a normal person.
Okay, so at a separate gas station time.
Same gas station, different time. This
Right.
was just a couple days ago.
Okay.
So are you aware of what diabetic retinopathy does to you, or what that means?
Can you say that one more time?
What diabetic retinopathy is, or macular edema? Do you know what either of those are?
So I know it messes with your eyes.
Right. So both of which I have, and we even spoke about this the last time I was at the gas station. Because those.
Objection. I think she's testifying instead of asking a question.
I understand. I'm going to give her some leeway here because I had a very similar question, whether this witness has ever seen a hypoglycemic event or an event due to the illnesses that this defendant suffers from. Those are pertinent questions.
Have you ever seen me? I'm sorry, I'll like rephrase it. So I know you said that what I appeared to look like was what other people that were under the influence of whatever you're referring to. But have you seen
Drugs.
episodes of hypoglycemia? Have you seen people out and about that have vision problems? Have you seen how they act or how they are affected by their?
Yeah, I have vision problems myself. I'm almost completely blind in my left eye.
Are you blind in both eyes or just one?
Nope, just one. But
Okay.
I
Do
don't
you
have
have
great
floaters?
vision
Do you have
either.
do you have floaters that come and go in your eyes?
What's that?
Do you have floaters, like black spots in your eyes that float around, that come and go, that block your vision at times, or no?
No.
Okay. Do you have a disease where one day your vision could be perfectly fine and the next day you could hardly even read what's in front of you?
I object to the relevance. We're asking questions about the witnesses.
Oh, no, I just told you that I have the same questions. I need to know how she compares the drug use versus a hypoglycemic or the myopathy problem compared to somebody who has drugs. If she's telling me that she says she witnessed a person on drugs, I need to know what the comparison is, because I'll take judicial notice. I happen to know what hypoglycemic incidents are, and same with the retinopathy.
Yeah.
So I need to know how she's comparing them and how she's, because you got her testifying, and this is a legitimate cross-examination question, as to how do you know the difference? So, ma'am, I will ask you to, now that I've stated the question, essentially, do you know the difference between those degenerative diseases and their effects compared to a drug usage effect?
90% yes. But in the same time, so you're telling me that because of her eyes, her daughter couldn't get her attention?
So I can go back to that.
Like,
what I'm saying,
other things that come along with it.
right, and I'm trying to differentiate, because there is an attention problem and a divestment of energy problem with the illnesses that she suffers from. So what I'm trying to do is determine whether this is an actual drug use incident, or is this an incident due to her illnesses for which she is being considered to be federally disabled due to. You know, there is a huge difference between the two. One is I can't hold it against somebody for being disabled. The other is I can definitively hold it against them if they're using drugs. I'd like to know if you're testifying so far on the one way, I'd like to know if you know what the other way looks like.
Well, anytime that I seen Holly before that, when I very first met her, she wasn't anything like that at all.
And when was that?
That would have been when she would have moved here. So that would have been Savannah started the same school as my son.
And wasn't she
Would
working
that have been third grade?
And wasn't she working at a hospital at that time?
Correct.
So she was working full time at that time. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Chadwick, I'm just trying to get from my benefit which way this is going. I mean, you've laid out a good case that there is a problem. Again, I have to make a determination. We don't have an expert witness here, whether this is due to her disability or due to drug use. And I'm trying to differentiate, because I'm not going to take the word of a lay witness telling me that she's seen this person on drugs fully if she doesn't know what the other events look like. She's saying she does, and I'd like her to lay some foundation for that. But Ms. Wright, I'm not trying to represent you. I'm trying to get the information I need.
No,
And
yeah,
I don't think you're asking the questions as quickly as I did. So I just want to move it along. That way Mr. Chadwick can cross-examine on it.
Okay. I will say, so back to the time at you said it was the 5th grade skate night?
Correct.
Okay, so, and you're saying that we were there that I was in the car for an hour?
Give or take, yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry?
You came in with Savannah when it started. You helped her get her skates on, and you put skates on, I think, for a few minutes too, but I can't remember for sure. And you hung out around there in a little bit, and then it was kind of like it was right after that, she was trying to talk to you when you were standing there, and she kept trying to get your attention, and you were just like not there. And then
sorry, keep going.
Please continue.
Her and my son started skating away, and she said, my mom does that. My mom does that sometimes. She didn't specify what, but come on. And then it was shortly after that, Holly had went outside. Like I said, she was in her vehicle, looked like she was sleeping.
So I guess that you said that you think I put skates on. So do you know for sure? Because I know for a fact I didn't have skates on. So how can we be sure that your recollection of that night is even correct? If you're even questioning, you yourself just questioned what you saw.
Holly, whether you had skates on or not has nothing to do.
But it doesn't. It has to do with your.
I've seen and what my son's seen and what your daughter's seen.
Right, but it has to do with your credibility as a witness. Because if you're questioning what you saw on one part of that event,
okay, and how many times has this happened? It's not a one-time deal.
Right, because my disease is a degenerative disease. So like Savannah said, this happens. And yeah, I can't see. The lights hurt my eyes sometimes. My house is dim all the time because it bugs my eyes. We're in a roller rink.
I'm gonna renew Mr. Chadwick's objection. You're testifying now. You'll have your time to testify. Please cross-examine this witness.
So in that event, it's your testimony that I was in the car for an hour, that we were there at the event for more than 15 minutes total, give or take. I mean, at least 15 minutes.
That you were what?
That we were at that location, that we were at the event for at least 15 minutes.
You were in the building for at least that long.
Can I call
outside for the rest of the time?
Do I have the opportunity to call her back as a rebuttal witness, like to herself? Or like when I have evidence to present, can I call her back? I don't know.
We'll determine that if you get if there's an appropriate rebuttal that you can call her back for. Yes.
Okay, just because I know how long Savannah didn't even. We showed up. We bought her skates, and I just wanted to.
I don't think that's the gist of what's really pertinent here, but okay.
Just with the fact that I wasn't in the car for over an hour because we weren't even at the event for more than 15 minutes. So just again, to her credibility as a witness.
Okay.
Another question. I don't know, do I have to speak just about what she spoke of, or can I ask her anything?
At this point in time, I'll give you some leeway. What's the question?
Where do you work?
Why does that matter?
It may or
it will matter. It will matter. I mean,
like I said, I'm going to give her some leeway. It may or may not matter.
Okay, so I live in Ionia.
Where do you work at?
Sweet Fire Tobacco in Ionia.
Okay, Sweet Fire Tobacco.
Where? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Sweet Fire Tobacco.
Oh, okay. All right.
How frequently do you take Jason up to work with you while you're there? I guess I should rephrase that. How many times has Tyler brought Savannah into the vape shop or to the vape shop where you work so that her and Jason...
Yeah, she has not been inside the vape shop. She's been outside the vape shop.
Okay, so
after they go to Big B.
After they go to Big B? And then that's where, but both kids are not inside the vape shop.
What my son does is none of your business.
No, but what my daughter does is my business. So my daughter saying that she's been inside that vape shop to visit your son while you're working because her dad's brought her there is very pertinent to this case.
Well, maybe you should say, were you actually inside?
Please hold on a minute. I object to the question. The questioner is using the statements of a child to try and impeach the witness, and the statements are not in evidence. And
Statements aren't in evidence, but she has the right to ask the question whether the child's been in there. The question was answered with no. So the objection is technically asked and answered.
yes,
I mean, you got the answer that you got, ma'am.
Yeah, that's she
But
said no.
I can't bring in a child statement to impeach the witness with.
No, that's fine. But I can still, sorry, my thing is dying. I'm trying to move my plug to keep it plugged in here. That's fine. I was just wondering what she could say about that.
But she has been here, but not inside the store.
And just to help you, ma'am, I probably won't find that much of a problem that somebody's inside of a store, unless are anyone under the adult is it a store that people can't enter if they're under 18?
No,
Can they?
it's not. They can enter. They cannot purchase.
Okay, so that would be the
okay. Then
there's all kinds of places kids can go that I've seen bars that allow kids in during certain times and hours, and
I guess that speaks differently then, because I was under the assumption that it was just like all the other vape shops in town. You have to be a certain age to even enter the building.
And again, that's a pertinent question. Yeah. So,
can I say something?
No, unfortunately, you don't get that chance.
Oh, okay.
Witnesses don't get to ask questions; they get to only answer them.
So I just want to ask a question. I just want to say something.
Well, we'll let you. You're going to be on ReCross re-examination by Mr. Chadwick shortly. So,
I know we haven't really had much interaction between the two of us, besides school events and running into each other at gas stations or grocery stores. So have you really ever seen my parenting Savannah at all, besides the instance you're talking about at Skateland?
As far as your parenting style or techniques of what you,
I just mean, like, have you been able to witness me parenting Savannah as far as like the interaction her and I have day to day, or more than just the 2 minutes in a gas station running?
Like I just said, your style of parenting and different things, I can't say.
Okay, and what can you say of Tyler's?
I've been around them quite a bit. They have a great relationship. For what I've ever seen, he's very caring, understanding, very open, honest with her. That's just what I've seen myself.
Right. And you've never seen you've never seen him raise his voice at her, and
no.
I'm sorry, you said no?
Yeah, honestly, no.
Okay. All right. What can you describe the interaction that the three of us had at the I think it was 6th grade, like that 6th grade night at the middle school, like the incoming 6th graders? It wasn't an open house, but it was like the welcome night.
Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah.
So how would you describe, like, between our interaction, like mine and Vanna's and Tyler's and Vanna's?
Listen, I don't think either one of you are bad parents.
That wasn't my question, but go ahead.
I'm not sure what do you want me to say?
I'm just trying to get, I'm not sure why Tyler brought you in as a witness other than to make it sound like I was on drugs. So I'm just trying to figure out, you know, what you can say as far as us parenting. I mean, as you know, Tyler's trying to get it down to me having Vanna one Wednesday and drastically reduce the time she spends with me. And what can you say about that? Do you think that would be good for Vanna? As from what you know?
I think my opinion is that you both get your heads out of your butts. And if you do have a drug problem, then you get help and you guys then do 50-50 because Savannah loves you both.
Yep. She loves us both. That's exactly right. Would you ever, well, I guess I don't even know if that's.
In my opinion, I think you guys are being unfair to her. So.
Yes. There's no winner. Vanna's losing no matter what in this situation is what I keep putting out there.
I know that Tyler's a great dad. I've seen that for myself. Like I've seen that. And that little girl loves him to pieces. But I know she loves her mom too. You're her mom. But if you do have an issue with drugs or anything else,
I've taken drug tests.
That has to be addressed because that's not good for her.
Been cleared by CPS.
Do we have any questions here, Ms. Wright?
I don't know. I was just trying to.
All right. Any re-examination, Mr. Chadwick?
No.
Okay. Thank you for testifying, Heather. Have a good afternoon. And take care. I guess we will recess at this point in time.